All right, so thanks for tapping in with Sia. This is another video I'm doing to piggyback on the previous video. My goal is to post a video a day, and so if I don't get to post sometimes one day for whatever reason, technical difficulties, I still make up for it to post multiple videos in one day. So sometimes you may see the same view, but it's a different video, okay? Sometimes it'll be the same topic. Sometimes we'll piggyback off of other topics we've discussed already. But again, this is just to share my journey on things that help me become happier. So today, I'm multitasking. I'm doing hair in between. So I'm getting up, checking on my clients, coming back. We were talking about changes and don't give up because you're not at your goal yet, or you feel like it's not blossoming or blooming, or you feel like you're stagnant. That may be because there are other things that need to fall in place and need to happen before that thing happens. Okay, so an example, you might be expecting a large sum of money, and the money's just been on hold for a year, 5 years. I know sometimes insurance claims could take up to 5 years. And so, waiting for it, some things have to be removed. So, some ways of thinking to help some behaviors, some addiction problems, or even people pleasing, where all your money will be gone because you're people pleasing versus initiating that business, paying those fees to start your own business, or investing in a new hobby, or just using it for family for a vacation. Or maybe you don't need to use it for that. Maybe you need to get caught up on all of your bills or expenses. I like calling them expenses, not so much bills. But again, don't give up just because you feel like things aren't flowing how you think they should flow. And sometimes they don't flow how we think they should flow for a reason, because we don't need to get a certain reaction. We was talking about change, and change is very, very important for growth. And like, I had to change my thinking when it comes to food for several things. One, I shared before, of not eating everything that's on your plate. So just because you have it on your plate does not mean you have to eat it all. So I stopped doing that, and it helped me tremendously. Okay. Another thing is eating multiple times a day. You do not have to eat 3 meals a day to be healthy. In fact, fasting sometimes helps you. And I wanted to talk about hibernation, and that's a part of fasting, and I'll talk about that tomorrow, but I don't want to get too deep on it. I just want to touch on how important it is for your body and your mind, your spirit to rest sometimes so you can rejuvenate. And most times people stay sick is because your body don't have time to work on that because it's working on something else. Okay? It's like some people can multitask for different things, but every job you can't multitask, right? Some things you have to do one at a time. And so for your body, yes, it can multitask, but when you're sick and you need help in healing, it's good to fast so your body could focus on healing and healing only. All right? So sometimes, you might not even eat a few times a day because you don't feel hungry. And that's too because when you change the foods you eat, when you change the music you listen to, when you change the people you're around, you're not really going to feel hungry. You're going to feel fed, and you're going to feel energetic. You're going to feel lively. You're going to feel happy. So if you don't believe me, Just do your own research, or if you trust me, try it and see. You can only try it and say, hey, it didn't work for me. And what I learned too in this world, in this life, and improving my thinking is, and like I was saying, I was checking on my client. So, what I learned in this life is, again, sometimes we have to dismiss everything we learned, everything we knew, to allow new thoughts and new behaviors so you can improve your consequence. And that consequence can be in the form of a goal. So if I change my thinking, saying, okay, I want to start that business, but I'm not knowledgeable. So instead of me saying, this is not my forte, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to enroll in a class. I'm going to buy a book. Whatever it is I need to do to open that business, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to change my thinking towards that. So now my behaviors are changing. Now I'm reading these books. Now I'm going to meetings. Now I'm talking to other people that have their own business about business. Now I actually open my own business. Now I'm doing workshops on business stuff. So do you see how simply changing your thinking could help you overcome that fear of change and try something different? Just because you come from a family that were not business owners, or you don't have people around you that are business owners or entrepreneurs, does not mean that you can't be an entrepreneur or a business owner. Okay? Um you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you. Like I said, for some people, they take different medications, so eating once a day or eating not eating at all may affect them, may impact their life in a certain way. Okay? So yes, your life can be impacted by doing something that's not good for you. Okay? And just because it worked for the next person doesn't mean it works for you. Again, I learned so much going to grad school about real history. So it made me proud to be black. And two, it also helped me learn. So being in grad school, being in college, going to college, learning about history, learning about different cultures, learning about foods, learning about traditions, learning about colors, and learning about all these things, you see why people believe what they believe, and that's because it's a part of their DNA. And in school, I did a genogram, and that's just a breakdown, like a family tree of your family on both sides, your siblings. It has everything on there from who's all married, how long they've been married, how many times have they been divorced, their sexual preference, their sexual orientation. Their spiritual beliefs, income. It has an array of questions. They have different types. And this genogram really helped me step back and see, wow, how my family behaves. What is their thinking? And so it just taught me a lot about myself and who I was. So some things you're not going to learn from the people around you or in front of you. Like I said, those people who do go to college and do seek knowledge elsewhere, they really, really change. And sometimes it's for the better and sometimes it's for the worse. But they do change. All right. Um, I feel like in learning that, learning about simplicity and keeping things simple is important, because going back to the simple life actually heals us. Going back to nature, Instead of going to enjoy TV, let's go to the park and enjoy whoever's there. So if it's just the trees and the squirrels, I'm going to enjoy them or in the birds. But if it's people there and they say hello, I'm going to say hello back. If they engage in the conversation, I'm going to talk back. Okay? So just keeping it simple. Instead of staying in the house watching TV, getting outside, getting some fresh air, getting resources, getting energy, getting those vitamins from the sun. Then when you get back, you're going to be good and thirsty. So now you're going to drink some water and you're going to be hydrated. So you were able to move around and move your body around for at least 10 minutes. So you're benefiting just by that simple change, okay? Remember, when things are changing, that means things are being moved around. So when you move stuff around and like you start moving your body in different places and walking faster, you'll feel it later on. You're going to feel sore, you're going to feel uncomfortable. When stuff is being cleaned, you going to pile everything up in the room. It's going to look chaotic. But when you finish organizing, wiping down, getting rid of, fixing, or giving away, you're going to feel so much better. Certain things, like once you clean up certain stuff, like when you clean up your home, you be like, don't bring that in here. It's the same with your life. When you clean up and clean out your mind and you don't want to hear negativity, you don't want to hear people talking about each other or whatever, you're not even going to even be in rooms where people talk about people. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be like, I cleaned that area out in my mind. I'm not allowing that to come back in. Right? When you clean out your body, like I stopped eating meat, and for the 4th of July, one of our family members made some ribs. They looked so good, and I ate a very small piece. My stomach was hurting so bad. Ooh, so my body was like, hey, no, that's been clean. We do not want none of that. So when you change and you make these changes for the better, some of those places you're not going to be able to go. Some of those things you're not going to be able to do. Some of those people you're not going to be able to be around. Some of those foods that's bad for you, you're not going to be able to eat. I told y'all the story when I stopped wearing fake hair for my birthday. I could not stop throwing up, and I had to stop wearing hair extensions. But when I did my research, I found that when you dip the hair in the hot water, that changes the chemical of the hair, and so it becomes cancerous. And that chemical goes up your hair follicle. And so I was like, wow, I'm really not crazy. And people like, girl, you crazy. Ain't nobody throwing up. It ain't even tight. It ain't even that tight, because it's literally my hair was hanging from the braid. So it's like, why am I trying to wear these braids that bad? You know? But again, changing our thinking about it changes our behavior. So once I learned, then I stopped doing it. I try to share with my clients because I do hair, and I'm trying to stop doing it because I don't want to smell those fumes. So eventually, I know it's hard. I'm transitioning, but in a little while, I'm not going to be doing extensions at all with fake hair because of the harm it causes. And because I know it's harming, and I share with you what it's harming and what it's doing to you, if you choose to still get it, at this point, that's what I'm doing. But in a little while, I'm not even going to be doing that in the meantime, because it makes me feel sad knowing what I'm doing intentionally. Even though, like on the cigarette labels, it said if you smoke cigarettes, it'll cause cancer, and you do it anyway because you don't care, or you think nothing's going to happen, or whatever the reason, you still do it. That's kind of where I am now. I know it's harmful, but this is what my clients are wanting, and I'm sharing with them what's happening to it. So it's up to you right now, but enjoy it while you can. Like I said, soon I won't be doing it anymore. All right? So when you're making these changes and when you're going through these ups and downs, I want you guys to remember that along the way, giving yourself those positive self talks and those positive affirmations is going to help. So while you're doing your positive affirmations, make sure you use environmental manipulation, okay? Make sure you drink something that's good, that helps you get energized. I love warm tea, not hot, but just warm tea, ginger, that makes me feel good. I like peppermint in my tea. I like watching things that are inspiring to me. So I have to be careful with the type of movies that I watch, the type of things that I look at on social media, the type of books I'm reading, even the type of people I'm around, at work, at school. Like when you learn certain things and you open your mind up to certain things, sometimes it changes your energy. So one thing that I found too was I didn't know that the material has an impact on your feelings and emotions. So different fabrics make you feel differently. So I'll let you guys do your research on that, but that's something I'm learning about, so I'll share with you guys in the future. Another thing I wanted to share is sometimes I'll include things that I do for the day because I do so many things. People are like, well, you do all that. You make clothes, you do hair, you do counseling. How do you make time for yourself? Well, it's a balance. And in that balance, you have to incorporate all the things that you love because you will make time for the things you love. And just remember that before, I didn't think I could make time for what I love because I have commitments, I have responsibilities of being a provider, being a parent, and I can't invest all this money in hobbies. But if you think differently and change your thinking towards it, you can make room for it financially, mentally, physically, and you will have the time to do that. Okay? So you might get that raise on that job that will allow you to be at work less but get more money. So you'll be able to afford your new hobby and you'll be able to attend it. Make sure when you're doing your affirmations, it's really good that you're doing it, but start incorporating looking in the mirror while you're saying it. Sometimes we look in the mirror and we don't really talk to ourselves. We're not really looking at ourselves, admiring ourselves. So sometimes stare in the mirror, just gaze at yourself, admire everything about yourself, and love yourself, and just say, I love you. Okay? Be your own hype man. Sometimes we have to do that, okay? Sometimes we have to be our own hype man. All right? Applying those tiny things. Say it's been on your heart to start your own business. Okay, but I work full time and I'm in school. I have all these excuses not to. So instead of me making all the excuses not to, I'm going to write, what can I do to help me with this? So instead of being on social media just scrolling, I'm going to be on social media looking at business pages just to see how their pages are set up. I'm taking mental notes. Then I'm going to take 10 minutes on Saturdays to think about the type of business I want, how I want it to look, what's my mission, what are my values, what am I looking to sell something, or am I looking to provide services? Like, what are you trying to do? What population are you trying to focus on? So 10 minutes a week on that. Then next thing you know, that 10 minutes is going to turn to 30 minutes. That 30 minutes is going to turn into hours. And then that's going to turn into all the resources you need coming into fruition of you quitting that job and doing your business full time, fully staffed and fully running. Okay? Same thing with dating. Like I told you guys, I started making those changes. Those small changes led to me from going through a divorce to dating, being open-minded about how I date, when I date, and who I date. And then it led to, within a few years, I'm already married again, because my goal was to be married, to be a wife. That was my goal. I wanted to be a wife to someone who wanted a wife, and they wanted to be a husband. Okay. And we also want to do the same thing when it comes to happiness. So when we think about happiness, tell ourselves, look in the mirror and say, I am happy and I love myself. Then after you say it so much, you're gonna start being happy. And then after you start being happy in moments, you're gonna start living a happy lifestyle. Living a happy lifestyle does not mean that you don't go through challenges and things don't happen that you have to overcome. Living a healthy lifestyle that no matter what challenges you go through, you're still going to be here. So what are you going to do while you're still here? Can you do something about what's going on? If not, what do you need to do? And understand it's a process as well. Sometimes some things will take a long time, and sometimes it'll happen quickly. So the moral of today's message is, don't be scared of change. Please don't be scared of change. If you feeling stuck, if you feel like you tired of the same routine, if all your days kind of blend together and you just feeling like, wow, is this what life is about? Maybe you need to stop, pause, and reset. Maybe you just need a break to get your breath again. And maybe you need to change some things. Do you need to change your physical? Do you need to change your diet? Do you need to be more active? Do you need to change how you dress? Do you need to maybe change your hair color? Do you need to change mentally? Your thinking, your views, your values, your morals. Is that keeping you stuck or in the same spot? Are you feeling stuck and not growing spiritually, financially? Does any of these areas in your life need a change? What about socially? Do you need to change the people you're going around, the places you're going to? Or even sexually, you got to be careful who you interact with, who you entertain, who you're transferring juices with, because that has a direct impact on you, especially more so for women. Okay, so again, where are the changes that need to be made? Don't let fear stop you from making those changes. Fear of change. Don't let fear of change stop you from going towards your goal. Because if you want to be that wife and you want to take vacations and you want to enjoy your life, you got to be able to fit on that airplane and not need a seatbelt extension. To climb that beautiful mountain so you can see that beautiful waterfall, you have to be able to climb that mountain. So you have to be able to be active. So there's nothing wrong with parking far away to walk to the grocery store, just to get a little more exercise. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Little things like that will help you be more active. Small habits go a long way. I'm still going to drink my coffee, but instead of sugar, I'm going to use my agave syrup. Those small changes do big things. Okay? Well, until next time, thanks for tapping in with Sia, where wellness plus healing equals happiness. Bye-bye.